Every image embodies a way of seeing. So I'm going to ask you to stand up, please. And on the count of 3, I'm going to ask you to jump with me 3 times, but jump as I say jump. Okay? So 1, 2, 3. Jump. 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 You can sit down. Thank you. Welcome, Stepaside Educate Together Secondary School. Without you, this event would not be happening today, so thanks very much for joining us, and thanks to the 64 people who filled out the form in advance of today, which is also really important for this event. You are here today as part of Science Week, and my name is Dr. Majella Boland. I am the Music Development Officer for Music Generation DLR, and I'm joined here by Professor Chris Bean, who is the head of Geophysics in DIAS, that is Dublin Institute of Advanced Studies, and renowned percussionist Alex Pectu, who's in Dublin doing performances at the moment, and who is no stranger to radios, the performance stage or performance venues here in Ireland. He also teaches percussion at the Cork School of Music, Munster Technological University. 3.5 months ago, I got in touch with Alex and Chris, and I was like, would you like to do something for Science Week with Music Generation? But for 3.5 months, we've been having really, really interesting conversations. And even though we've very different relationships and perspectives on music and science, we also had a lot of common ground. Sounds uncertain. What do you think? That's today's title. And I didn't give you any information about the event beforehand because I wanted it to be I didn't want any expectations. I didn't want you to think about anything, although I'm sure you've come with expectations as well. At the same time, though, like any journey, I want it to be a new experience and something that you explore. So we have an idea of how it's going to unfold, but we don't know exactly what's going to happen as well. So we're kind of going on this journey together. So instead of calling it an event, we might call it a journey or an experiment. Now, what I want is facts. Teach these boys and girls nothing but facts. Facts alone are wanted in life. Plant nothing else and root out everything else. You can only form the minds of reasoning animals upon facts. Nothing else will ever be of any service to them. This is the principle on which I bring up my own children, and this is the principle upon which I bring up these children. Stick to the facts, sir. Does anybody recognize this? It's the opening paragraph of Charles Dickens' Hard Times, first published in 1854. And one of the main themes in this novel is the opposition between facts on the one hand and imagination and emotion on the other hand. But once there's this opposition, what happens is 2 categories are created. But when 2 categories are created, they're pitched against each other. So you have facts being extolled, imagination and emotion being suppressed. And although this was written 167 years ago, it resonates a little bit with today. But first, because I can see you're all really interested in this 19th century novel, so there's a spoiler alert. As the novel progresses, what happens is people realize, or there's some realization with the characters, that facts alone don't make connections. Facts alone don't make you happy. Facts alone are futile. And so there's a realization that imagination and emotion helps people understand more about humanity. So for me, there's still this division in society of arts and music on the one hand, and we have science on the other hand. And one interesting thing happened for me, or 2 even, during the pandemic was the undisputed role that science and medicine plays in our lives. That was reaffirmed. But the other thing that really, really struck me was that for the first time, I felt that science and music were aligned. They were aligned because the people who weren't in hospital, the people who weren't sick, were suddenly at home, and they were relying on music, they were relying on the arts to get them through. So they were absolutely coexisting as they should be. At the same time, there was an element of the general perception about music and the arts that lingered. So there was no roadmap really for the entertainment sector, and this was really frustrating.